Hi everyone, welcome back to my video. So another 10-minute session about Office 365 administration interview. So what we're going to look at is something that's called as SharePoint document libraries. Now, if you are working with Office 365, most of the time, like 80 to 90% of the time, if a person has a document, he's working with OneDrive or SharePoint document libraries. And so this becomes a very important topic for you to understand what it is. What is SharePoint document library? What is OneDrive? I've explained what is SharePoint document library and what are the core features, what are the core functionalities in my article. Please go to the article. It would be very helpful for you. It talks about centralized storage, it talks about collaboration, what is version history, OneDrive sync, which is a feature in it. Co-authoring means that the two people or more than two people can edit the same document at the same time. That's another very important and a big feature in SharePoint. Then we have something that's called as mobile access. You can always access all your content from your mobile or any other mobile device, and you can even edit, read, do a lot of things on your mobile devices. Then we have integration with other SharePoint tools that you can have, like it can be you can use BCS or you can use your dynamic CRM for SharePoint. So there are a lot of things which you can do with SharePoint. Then we have access control, granular permissions. This is something very important. You can control up to the document level as to who should be able to see the document. So you have site collection, you have subsites, you have other things, you have a document library, you have folders, but you can make sure that bypassing everything, a person should only be able to see a particular document. He should not have access to the whole site collection, document library, folder, but only this document. So that's called granular permissions. Okay. Then we have views. You can define different views, different filters. There are different columns that you can define. So all these are something which is very important and you can look at it. Okay, there's also external sharing, using which you can share the same content outside of the organization. Okay, so a lot of people use external sharing as a feature. So how do you go about all these features? I'll give a little demonstration to look at it. Okay, so this is how your document library, typical document library looks like. Okay, what you see over here are some files and some folders. What you see at the bottom of the page is there are some files which are directly uploaded onto the document library. So if I come down here on the right hand side, so you see these are the files that are directly at a document level, but not all the files are at a document level. Some files are inside of the folder. So I can make sure that only this particular file someone should have access to, which means what I can do is I can click on these three dots that are there and I can click on manage access. When I click on manage access, I can stop sharing with everyone else. I can make sure that no one else should be able to edit it. I can stop the sharing and then I can make sure only Alex should be able to view this document. Which means no one else will be able to see it apart from Alex. Okay, that's called how I can remove everyone's permissions on this particular item and I can give explicit permission to a particular individual to view this item. Okay, so going through all of these features mainly one by one. External sharing, we'll look at how external sharing is done. We just go here, we look at share. On the three dots we do share and then we type in any email address that we want to type in. Let's say my email address is inderjeet4321@gmail.com and it's gonna allow me to share this document. I got a prompt that you're sharing this with someone outside of the organization. I said yeah, go ahead, no problem, and I select continue and now I would be able to share this document with someone outside of the organization. Okay. Before you do this, normally external sharing is disabled on the site. So what you have to do is you have to make sure that you go to Central Admin or SharePoint Central Administration page and you make sure that you select that particular site, whatever site it is, and you have in sharing option, you have guest enable. Okay, and that says new and existing guests. If you have existing guests, that means new users or new guests from outside of the organization cannot share it. So you have to make sure new and existing guest is selected for in our case, because this is first time I'm sharing with indrajit432@gmail.com. So not just this, but I can also share it with someone who's using any Office 365 outside of the organization, which means that I am contoso.com and there's someone at appfabric.com. That appfabric.com user can also access my site using his appfabric credentials. Okay, that's also a part of external sharing only. Okay, so that's one part of external sharing. Now we'll go to custom views a little. So what you can do is you can make sure that what you see and what others see should be looking different. So on the right hand side we have couple of views. I can make it a compact look. This is a compact look. If I want another look, this is called tiles look. This is a tile look. Okay, so there are a couple of views that you can use. So these are 3 to 4 views that are by default available. You can edit your current view, you can format your current view. So there are a lot of options which you can do, and you can make sure that your views are much more enhanced, or it meets the way you want them to look like. Okay, now we go with integrations. I don't want to show too much of integration, but yeah, there are a lot of integration options with your SharePoint. Then we have mobile access. I can show you mobile access on the same screen. So what we do is we can just go over here and we go to tools, developer tools, and then I just change this, and this is how your mobile looks. Look, this is your SharePoint in mobile look. You see how I can drive this, I can manage the SharePoint, I can do a lot of things. This is responsive. Let me just change it to iPhone 14 Pro. This is how it will look on your iPhone 14 Pro. Okay, this is all your documents. I go to the design folder, and this is what I see all your documents would look like. So you now also know how you can look at a mobile view from a desktop machine. I'll just close this developer tools and I'm back to my general view or the laptop view. Now we have co-authoring. Co-authoring means that I can this document, whatever document it is, I can edit those documents, right? I can go ahead and make sure edit in browser. So I can now log in with some other account, or some other user can log in with their own account and edit the same document along with me. Okay, so I can see that they are also editing. I can see a tab over here. Right now I'm not doing it, but there's also a tab where you would be able to see. Now again, I can also make sure that I have opened this in the edit view, and I can make sure I can open it in viewing mode also. Okay, this is a viewing mode. I cannot make, even if I try, I would not be able to make a change. Then I have to go to edit workbook option, and then I am in the edit view. Okay, and I can always share this with a lot of my team members through Teams to share option, or I can directly give them the link. Okay, so this is basic sharing feature in SharePoint that we are talking about. Another option that we have is OneDrive Sync. OneDrive Sync is where what I can do is I can just go ahead and go to this document library, and I can add a shortcut to my OneDrive, or I can even sync this whole thing. The sync option is disabled because I was doing some testing and I had disabled sync option for my document library, but if you want, I can also demonstrate it on some other site or explain it to you if needed. There's just a sync option available over here, and once we click on that sync option, files would be available on my local machine as well as on my laptop. I right now don't want to do it, which is why I'm not doing it. We had version history. That was the next feature. Version history is for example, if this particular document, I want to see who all edited and what modifications they did, I can do that. I can just right click on this document or click on the 3 dots in the documents and click the version history, and over here I would be able to see who all made the changes and when was those changes made. Okay, so it can store up to 999 versions of the same document, can go even more if by default there is a configuration, but if you want to exceed, by default I think it's 99, but if you want to exceed more than that, you can always do that. We have options in the document library that you can use. Okay, now coming back to other features are a basic understanding of what SharePoint is, which is mainly for collaboration and centralized storage of all the documents, so that we have a centralized place where everyone is sharing the documents. A few questions that you might also be asked, which is not in that article, is about library settings. Okay, so we go to if you want to go to library settings, what you need to do is you need to go to that particular document library wherever we are in, and then go to this gear icon on the right hand side top corner and select library settings. When we are in library settings, we go to more library settings, and here we are able to see a lot of library settings. We can change the name, we can have the versioning settings change. I told you about the versioning, that there are limited number of versioning default set. There are 500 is a default setting. I can change it to 99,999. That's the maximum limit which I can set this to. Okay. I don't want to go to major and minor. Who can see the draft and all that settings are also there. We have some advanced settings, some validations. If you really want to have a very detailed video about documents and document libraries, let me know. I can do that, because these are settings, library settings. These are not generally used, but they are basically enhancing what you can do with your document library. Most of your time, if you are there, you would be working on this document library, on this section which I told you about, where a lot of time you might be looking at these options, which is share, manage, access, which I told you about, sharing people, delete a document. Automate, you would not be going in. Automate is mainly into workflows and all. You can make it favorite, you can download, you can rename this document, pin to top, you can make sure this comes to the top of it. Move to means you can cut and paste it to a different document library. This is something like you select move to, and you can then select this destination document library where this should go. These are all the sites, and I can select whichever site I want to move it to. Copy is copying the same document library over there. Folder icons, I can change all the folder icon or the folder icon of this particular folder. Alert me is where I can tell that, okay, anything happens to this particular document folder, I need to know. I can set an alert. There is workflow features and details. Okay, basic features, basic understanding of what was there in documents in 10 minutes, helping you clear the interview. Okay, if you still have any questions, if you still feel there is any other queries or anything which I can help you with, please do let me know. I'll be more than happy to help you with it. Okay, take care. Best of luck for your interview. Bye.